Let's kick this thing off with two very simple definitions. A pyramid scheme. A pyramid scheme is a fraudulent system where a number of investors create an ever-inflowing group of more investors who in turn recruit more investors, then those investors go and recruit even more investors. And what this actually does is creates that pyramid effect of investors. And if you're that investor at the top with the most amount of people, you're going to be at the top of that pyramid and more likely to run off with everybody's cash. Now let's talk about network effect. The network effect is a phenomenon where the more users that you get, the better the goods or service or marketplace becomes. So let's think about Facebook, for instance. It's who everybody's mom got on when you actually were trying to use it to connect with friends that you may have lost touch with. The more of those friends that got on there connected with other friends, the more valuable that network got. Same thing with eBay. eBay would be pretty boring if it wasn't a lot of buyers and sellers in that marketplace. This is the same thing that we saw happen since 2017 with NFT platforms like OpenSea and Rarible and Super Rare. Like, they started off very bare bones, a lot like the Solana and the Cardano NFT platforms are right now. And then by network effect, as you got more users and more buyers and sellers, the company was able to reinvest back into the development of it to create more liquidity in a pretty good marketplace where we've seen $2.6 billion in NFTs move through the Ethereum marketplace since 2017. So that is a networked effect. I think a lot of these crypto projects that come out talk a lot about the networked effect, but don't understand the difference between the networked effect and a basic pyramid scheme using cryptocurrency. So in this video, we're going to examine whether the Braintrust crypto or BTRST token is looking to leverage that networked effect to really grow a network to empower creators, or is it just a pyramid scheme that's wrapped in a white paper? Actually, I hadn't checked to see if they had a white paper yet, so let me run off and do that. All right, now let's answer the question of what Braintrust crypto actually is. So it's positioning itself as a kind of anti-Fiverr or an anti-Upwork, if you will. What they're trying to do is really cut out the middleman and try to eliminate some of those fees that come between the clients and the freelancers on those platforms. And they're actually doing this by creating that BTRST token. Their BTRST token is a hybrid style governance token. So the way this works is the one token, one vote model. And the way that you actually earn these BTRST tokens is by literally helping them create the actual Braintrust networks. So if you're a developer that does UI or UX design, or a copywriter, or one of the founders, you'll be able to have those BTRST tokens. But it gets creative because freelancers can actually earn them as well by recruiting other members to bring them in and help build that Braintrust network. Another way you can earn these BTRST tokens is by onboarding other and new team members into the Braintrust crypto network to actually help increase the transaction volume and liquidity in the Braintrust network. It gets even more interesting because you can actually go in and stake those BTRST tokens as well. So let's say that I'm a freelancer that provides video editing services, and a client comes on board and says that, hey, I need a video editor to work on this 6-month project with me. I can actually go ahead, grab my bag of BTRST tokens that I've earned from being a top creator on this platform and stake them against that actual job. So as the client is going through and seeing the different pitches from their freelancers or proposals, you'll see that, hey, looks like Michael staked 50,000 BTRST tokens against this to be used as collateral if he defaults on the job. So it's very interesting in concept, but I do have some concerns, which I'll outline a little bit later. The actual clients or people looking for jobs can participate in staking as well. If you want to prove that you're a real job posting, you can actually stake some of your BTRST tokens attached to that job, and they'll be locked in and used as a payment for those freelancers who are successful in bidding for the project. Now let's talk about my concerns. Well, my number one concern is if you hadn't went ahead and hit that like button yet, if you're picking up what I'm putting down in these amazing projects, remember to jump down and check out the links below as well to see the Discord is popping up in there. We have a lot of great conversations happening. We got frankincense going and doing some amazing technical analysis on projects, and a lot of people have been able to make a lot of money, not financial advice, getting in early on some of these Cardano NFTs that we chat about in our Discord. So if you would have been in our Discord about 4 days ago, you would have seen when the Braintrust token went live on Coinbase and caused that massive movement in price action. The governance model is really concerning to me. The whole point of decentralization is that the top owners or creators don't hold the power. It's spread amongst the people, and they really preach a good game on the network effect, but I don't really understand how this is going to actually make it better the more people who jump on board. But it's very easy, if I'm equating this to a pyramid scheme, saying that, hey, from the beginning, if you actually help create the project, like if you're a developer or a founder or somebody like that, if naturally the way that you get the BTRST tokens is by being somebody who helped grow the network, the founders and creators are going to have the lion's share, right? But it gets even more interesting because if you think about it, the top creators and freelancers are also going to have a whole big old bag of BTRST tokens, meaning they'll be able to go and stake those against jobs, vote on things in governance as well, and really control and run that whole platform. And the same thing goes for clients. So the bigger clients are going to be really making the decisions and shaping the direction of which this whole Braintrust network goes. I mean, that's the way I understand the very basic model. So I can equate it very much easier to a pyramid scheme as opposed to the network effect. I don't really want to put this label on them yet. The thing I love about the blockchain is that everything's immutable. We can go straight in and we can see what's going on the blockchain to look at the tokenomics and find out what the truth is for a project like this. So let's go ahead and dive in now. So the first thing I'd like to really look at in the tokenomics of a project is going to be the max supply and a circulating supply. So when I look at this one, I can see that they have a max supply of 250 million with a self-reported circulating supply that can't be verified of 16.5 million. On the eye test, it looks fine. There's plenty of room because there are still a lot of tokens out there. But let's dig a little bit deeper on something like this. Remember, one token, one vote. I actually want to look and see the top holders and the top addresses and how many they actually have. So let's quickly look at the top addresses by balance here. There's 91 million of the tokens over here. That's 36% of the supply. There's 76 million here, 30% of the supply. So it's just interesting to me because I feel like all of these people up here are going to have all of the power. I'm assuming that's the people who helped create that whole Braintrust network, like the developers, the founders, and things like that, to really have this huge bag, or the big corporations, which we'll get to in a second, that Braintrust has partnered with could be some of these major holders of Braintrust tokens here as well. I really can't come to a conclusive decision on this because there's so much going on here, but I just want to point out some of my findings that I found and let you come to your own conclusion whether or not this is really going to leverage on the networked effect or going to be a sophisticated pyramid schemey type thing with backing. They have a report here where they have a professor from Harvard that did a study on Braintrust. I looked this guy up. He's legit. He does a lot of different reports on emerging technology. He's a professor there on entrepreneurial leadership. So he does tons of reports. It may not have been specifically for Braintrust, but I don't think he'd be too hard to get to actually write about your project if you're connected like they are with backing from Pantera and other VCs. They've raised over $31 million from investors since around 2018. They just launched the token there. They've been around since 2020 and they're really crushing it. And then they have a lot of partners here as well. So they've partnered with enterprise clients such as Goldman Sachs, American Eagle, Eliasson, Porsche, Under Armour, and Wayfair. And they have some pretty big projects on here as well. To me, it's not a raw pyramid scheme. I don't know what it is, but some things just don't add up to me. Like when I jump over here and I have a look at them saying it's over 50,000 members on the platform. Then when I go back and I have a look at the actual number of total addresses, I see 587 addresses here, but we have 50,000 members of the platform. The whole model is for the members to actually hold the BTRST tokens and actually participate in the governance and everything. I don't really understand why there's less than 600 wallets, but it's 5,000 members. So I could be off base here. I'm just pointing out things that look a little bit off to me so you can make your own decision about Braintrust. Another thing that I found a little bit alarming was just their comment section and the repetition of one term, good project. So for me, that's the number one sign of like something's not quite right in your comment section. You can see that good project's been mentioned 16 times. So if I go through it, we got thanks for the team, good project and strong team. somebody spamming there, which is fine, but good project, very good project, good project, good project, spam. And then this is a very good project, good project, good project. Here they said good project. Look at these people. Look at all the paid people on here that said good project. Do you think they can vary it? So somebody pointed this out. I didn't even notice that until I started recording this. But also good project again, and good project, and good project. I think you get the gist of it. And if I keep going down the page, they're just going to continue to stack up. But just to make sure I'm not being biased, let's look at another video from them. And this one has it 23 times. So once again, let's go ahead and tab through them. Good project, good project, good project. Hopefully in the future, these are verbatim from different sites here. We don't have to spend all day doing this over and over again. So I'm seeing a lot of those things inside of there. I could be totally off base here, but a lot of things just aren't adding up to me. Like those paid comments for a company that's raised so much money. I mean, at the very least, they could actually work on building a real community or hire a real marketing agency to foster some organic engagement instead of paying. So, hey, that may not mean anything. That may just mean they have bad people managing their YouTube page, but also 50,000 members, 587 some odd wallets. That math doesn't add up to me either. And then when I looked at some of the partnerships, I can't really find any press releases by the companies or see what individual projects that they've worked on with Braintrust. Looks like for all intents and purposes, they're doing things right. So I'm gonna give them the benefit of a doubt and say it's not a pure pyramid scheme. They're really trying to build something viable here, but I'm just not sure how I feel about the actual model. And just for a little bit of fun, I wanna look and compare that model of the top freelancers and corporations controlling everything with what that would look like if that's actually what happened on YouTube. So just for fun, let's see what YouTube would look like if it was actually governed by some of the most popular YouTubers. So let's see who would actually be making all the rules around YouTube if we had the Braintrust model. So we would have PewDiePie running the show. Like, is PewDiePie even still active? I thought he had like left YouTube, but either way, still has 110 million subscribers and really crushing it on YouTube. So PewDiePie would be calling the shots on governance for YouTube, and he would have people like Diana, who looks all of 6 years old, as like a VP or executive next to him, along with another little girl here and her parents calling the other shots. And let's flip the model. Remember, you can actually be a client that participates a lot in the ecosystem and hires a lot of freelancers, or in YouTube senses, pays the most for advertising. You would actually be able to control the platform that way or have more governance votes than everybody else. So in this case, we'd have Apple, Disney, Donald Trump campaigns, Biden's campaign, and Riot Games calling a lot of the shots. There would probably be in a lot of board meetings. Just imagine this, like Tim Cook in a meeting with PewDiePie on governance rules for YouTube, or maybe better yet, Donald Trump and his team with a couple of 6-year-olds trying to decide about governance for the YouTube platform. So that's pretty hilarious to me to even think about that model. I mean, it's totally different for freelancers and companies, and who knows, I hope I'm wrong because I'm a huge fan of empowering that creator economy. But from what I see, things just don't add up as of yet. I'll probably revisit this one later to really see how it's came along, but it's been around since 2018. Jumped on Coinbase in 2021 as of 4 days ago. Got tons of volume, tons of hype around it. Has some pretty strong partnerships. Is backed by venture capital. The owners have also had other companies that they've taken public and sold. So it has the credibility. I'm just not sure about the sustainability of the model. I really want to talk to maybe a freelancer or somebody who's worked inside of Braintrust to really see who has all of the power in it. But I bet the Nikes and the Goldman Sachs and those can really afford to buy a lot of those Braintrust tokens to have more control over that network. And remember, the whole point of cryptocurrency is to be decentralized and to relinquish the control to the people. If you want to see a video about a straight up pump and dump or pyramid scheme, click over here to see my video about iFi Finance. If you're interested in Cardano NFTs, check out my playlist, which will be right above that video stacked over here somewhere. Until next time, this is your friendly neighborhood FUD fighter, Michael T. Ragland, signing off. Peace.